Australian space industry businesses and researchers are being urged to help lead the nation's first mission to the moon. It's part of a federal government plan to grow the sector, with up to $50 million in grants available to help develop and build a small rover that will head to the moon with NASA as early as 2026. Joining me live now is Enrico Palermo. He's the head of the Australian Space Agency. Appreciate your time, Enrico. Thank you so much. Tell us a bit more about this rover. What's the point of sending it to the moon? What are you hoping it can achieve?
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. This is an incredibly exciting program for the nation, where we will see Australian businesses, Australian researchers design, build and operate Australia's first rover on the moon. And why this is important, it's us joining alongside NASA, who we've had over half a century collaboration with, work out how we can establish a sustainable permanent presence on the moon.
So who gets to build the rover? Is this like a tender process that you're working through? How does that all work? I assume that the opportunity to work with NASA is one that would be pretty highly sought in the corporate world in particular.
Yeah, we're expecting a lot of interest. So yesterday we released the guidelines to this part of the Moon to Mars program that we call Trailblazer. And so we'll initially select two consortiums from around Australia that will come together to do a preliminary design review of the rover. And later in the program, we'll down select to one entity that will, working with NASA, have the chance to take their hardware to the moon. The rover will be there to collect lunar soil known as regolith, and it'll take it to a plant that NASA has to see if we can extract oxygen. And obviously, once you have oxygen on the moon, you can use it for humans, but also for rocket fuel and other needs.
So when you look at the companies likely to be involved, is it likely to be a mining company? How does Australia's mining tech ability match up with what we might be keen to do in space?
Clearly, one of the key strengths we have in the Australian economy is our resources sector. And we're known around the world for our ability to operate mine sites and platforms from 1,000 kilometres away. And it's no different in space. How do we transfer, we're focused on the agency, how do we transfer those world-leading skills into supporting missions to the moon and beyond? And so we've seen organisations like ROSE in WA that are bringing together the resources sector to look at how they can approach this new frontier in space.
Enrico, looking more broadly at the space agency, I see that it's a pretty lofty goal. You're looking to triple the sector's size to, I think it's $12 billion, create some 20,000 jobs by 2030. How's it going? How are you going about finding those jobs? Where are they going to come from?
Yeah, so the agency was formed with that purpose of tripling the sector 3 years ago, July 2018, and formation of the agency really catalysed the nation around the opportunity in space. Worldwide, we are seeing billions of dollars of private investment into commercial space. This is, a frontier that is accessible to Australian businesses now. And so we're focused on guiding the nation on what are the priority areas, where does Australia have strengths, whether it's our geographic advantages, some of our unique capabilities in quantum mechanics and communications, robotics and automation, as we talked about. And so we have various programs, including the Moon to Mars programs, that are stimulating growth of the sector. And this is about creating not just science and engineering jobs, but really creating a whole sector, policy, lawyers, and the such. And 3 years into the strategy, we're making a lot of momentum around the nation. Space companies of all sizes are hiring, creating high-tech jobs, and really showing that Australia can start to match it with the world in the commercial space industry.